Today, I want to show you 3 essential blues riffs. But I don't want to just teach you some riffs, giving you yet another thing to memorize and forget about 2 weeks later. I want to show you what makes these things tick, how we can use them to actually play songs or to make your own riffs. So we're going to learn them, but we're also going to take a bit of a deeper dive in a really simple, organic way. So, for instance, Born Under a Bad Sign goes like this. And we can take that and we can move it around the fretboard and fit it into the 12-bar blues. You know, I wasn't really playing Born Under a Bad Sign at a certain point. I was taking the riff and I was learning how to use it to make other things out of it, right? And that's what I'd like to show you today. Real quick, I have a free ebook. It's free for all my subscribers, and it covers all the fundamentals of lead guitar. I'll put a link to that down in the description. Now, let's start off with Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. We start off by putting our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we're just going to strum the 2 thicker strings. So I'm not doing a full strum that carries through the strings, I'm just kind of flicking outward, and the D string is muted just for insurance. Probably not going to hit it, but just in case I do, it's nice that the underside of my index finger is lightly touching it. And I'm going to play 2 downstrokes. That'll keep the tone consistent. You could go down, up, but it just kind of loses some of that oomph that, you know, makes the riff happen, right? So down, down. And then we're going to play the open E string, and I'm going to play the 3rd fret with my middle finger and lightly bend it. Not a big bend, but just, you can barely hear it come up. Just a light bend. And then I'm going to put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string and play the A and D string. Once again, I'm muting the next string with the underside of my index. And here, I'm doing an upstroke that kind of goes through the A string, but it's more like a rhythmic thing, you know? It's not really like, oh, I'm playing the A note on purpose. It's more like I'm doing an upstroke to get some clicks, and I just so happen to go through the A string. Down, up, and that resets us back to the beginning. When it comes to why this is such an important riff, it's because these 3 notes right here, they outline the riff. And those are the first 3 notes of the minor pentatonic scale. And this, to me, is the guitar blues riff sound. Period. End of story. You basically start at a root, any root, go up 3 frets, and then 2 frets higher than that. You know, and that's the basic shape. You can apply that anywhere on guitar. You could start here at the 5th fret of the D string. Go up 3 frets, and then 2 frets. You can double it up with 4ths, and that basically means play the same notes on the string above it. So if I was playing the D string, I'm also going to play the G string, also at the same fret. And that's Smoke on the Water, obviously. It's the guitar part in ZZ Top's Tush. You could do 5ths, which is the power chord shape. You know, so once again, I'll just pick another root, G, go 3 frets higher and 2 frets higher than that. And then I'll add the power chord shape. Now moving on, the next one I want to cover is Born Under a Bad Sign. And there are 2 things that we can learn from this. First is this shape right here, which it's like a C chord, but we're going to add 1 finger, our pinky finger. If we're playing in the position of C, we add our pinky finger to the 3rd fret of the G string. Then we take that whole shape up 1 fret, and we're playing a C sharp 7 chord, but it's really just a C chord with 1 note added. Make sure you're muting the outside strings. And this isn't a bar chord, but it doesn't have any open strings, so you can play it anywhere on the fretboard. And we start out by playing the A string, the root of our chord, C sharp, and then we do a down strum, and I'm gonna release pressure. Because there's no open strings, I can just do that. I don't have to do any fancy muting stuff. I just strum it and release the pressure to get a nice sharp hit. And now I'm just playing on the 2nd fret of the thickest string with my index, 4th fret with my ring finger, next string, same thing, and then 2nd fret of the D string. So it's root, shot, a little bit of a lick, and then you do it all again. And if you play it like that, you're playing Born Under a Bad Sign. But let's start moving this shape around. Let's, for instance, take a blues in C. That has the chords C, F, and G, or C7, F7, and G7. And we can find those notes on the A string. C is the 3rd fret, F is the 8th fret, and G is the 10th fret. And we could just play this lick in those positions, you know, like... Finally, the last riff I'd like to show you is How Many More Times by Led Zeppelin. And what I like about this one is that it explores the bottom end of the pentatonic scale. You know, we all want to like play those ripping high notes, but it's nice to like learn how to take advantage of those lower notes too. As far as the riff itself goes, we start on the 5th fret of the E string, and then I'm going to use my ring finger to play the 7th fret of the D string. That's the octave. Those are both the note A. And then we're going to play the 5th fret of the same string, and then my ring finger goes on the 7th fret of the A string, and I go back to the 5th fret of the D string. And I would do that a few times to get used to it. And then the next part we go. And there I'm playing the same notes, but the rhythm is different. So the first time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the second time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you can just see the counting above. You can always pause the video, count it out, work it out. You know, it's pretty straightforward. And then after that, we go. And that's just a C power chord and a G power chord. And the strumming's a little bit quick. You can always go and just play downstrokes on it. Totally up to you. So all in all, now, as I was saying before, this riff really explores the bottom end of the scale, you know, and let's just put that into context. Let's say you're at a jam session and nobody's playing bass. Maybe the bass player didn't show up or nobody invited one. Either way, you guys decide, you know what, no bass player, that's fine. Let's just pick a song and let's jam. So you all start trying to figure out what songs that you all commonly know, and you realize that none of you know the same songs. So you, because, you know, you have a little bit of knowledge here, you say, hey, you know, let's just jam. Let's just come up with like a cool little thing to jam over. And you pick a key, the key of B, that's the 7th fret, and you start using the same 4 notes from How Many More Times. This repetitive little jam, and people are like, yeah, I'm feeling that. And they start joining in. Somebody can even take a solo. So those are 3 essential blues riffs and a bunch of cool stuff that you can do with them. And as I am teaching this lesson, I'm realizing there's just so much more. Like in How Many More Times, you could take the roots of those power chords and like map it all out and start connecting scales. So I have a ton of ideas, and if you want to learn more, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoy learning guitar with me, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoy my method, especially for learning lead guitar, I have a course, The Complete Lead Guitarist, which I will also put a link to down below. Don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook while you're down there. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon. Sorry, I called this the A string, but I meant the E string. It's the note A. I get confused sometimes. Anyways,